Next up at UFC Vegas 73, we have Michael Johnson taking on Diego Ferreira. Diego Ferreira, 17-5 overall, 2-3 in his last 5. He is riding a 3-fight skid. He's taking on sort of a surging Michael Johnson, 21-18 overall, 2-3 in his last 5. But he is coming off a nice underdog win over Mark DeCasey. And Michael Johnson, I don't know how long a lot of you have been watching MMA. I know there's a whole bunch of people that really started with COVID. And then since then, the sport's really been blowing up. But Michael Johnson has been around forever. He's a pretty good guy, right? He's fought a ridiculously tough competition slate. And you might look at, 21-18 versus 17-5. This dude has 18 losses. He might suck. But that's a bad assumption because all of his losses are essentially quality losses. To Beneil Dariush, that dude's probably fighting for a title this year. Nate Diaz, when Nate Diaz was like young and good. Khabib, Justin Gaethje. Most recently, a short notice, very split, very close decision to Jamie Mullarkey where he knocked the dude down. So point being, Michael Johnson is much better than his overall record, better than his recent record. He's a well-rounded guy. He can wrestle if he needs to, but for the most part, he's a decent striker. He does have some knockouts on his record. Somebody in the comments was like, "Oh, you said he has no power. He has not." Anybody can knock anybody. It's a fist fight, right? That can happen. But for the most part, me out. When you think, I would love when we get to 20,000.
Say something and put your chest into it when you say it. I want you to look me in the eye and say it like a man.
The camera eye or the eyes?
No, look right at the camera and tell me what you want to say.
I would love to punch you square in the mouth and watch you fold like a lawn chair. And the only reason I haven't done that is because you'll just never show back up.
The only reason you haven't done that, because it's like this. I like this. I just parry it. Oop, oop.
Just like that? You're like a cat with a ball of yarn.
Oop. I mean, that's all. You punch. And I'm coming right over the top.
I don't even turn it over.
Just right over that.
Straight
right
down.
over the top of that right hand. And you're fucking squealing like a pig.
Well, why don't we put it up for vote and let the chat decide if you and I should just do a fun boxing match, a charity boxing match, or just money for each other. Fuck charity.
I mean, if you want to go down that path, Angelo, they don't let you wear shirts in there.
Yes. Okay, no problem. Let's do it, Jacob. When would you like to do that?
I can be ready.
I'm ready right now.
July.
So you tell me.
July 24.
Okay. That's okay. Hey, fine with me. July of 24. Guys, July of 24. It's in the books.
Get
the Rocky theme song going. Get the Rocky theme song going. Take my edit from the Conor McGregor documentary and let's give Jacob a comeback story here.
Comeback? When am I coming back from? Come on your bag.
Cancer. You had cancer because you're allergic to the sun. Michael Johnson's a pretty good striker, busy guy, doesn't have true one-punch knockout power, although he does have a knockdown against Jamie Mullarkey. He did have a nice knockout recently as well, but he's really a busy striker, technical guy, true veteran, can work in takedowns when he needs to. He's taking on Diego Ferreira. Diego Ferreira is a very good BJJ guy. He has power in his hands. Even though he is a grappler, he does have a nice striking differential of 5-3 and a very low takedown accuracy of only 24%. His striking has evolved over the years. He's won sort of striking-only fights, right? He's won some fights, decisions where he didn't get his grappling going. He is on a 3-fight skid. And again, a lot of people just pull up Tapology and make quick assumptions. He's on a 3-fight skid. The dude lost to Gregor Gillespie, who's a nonstop expert. What?
How did you just say that name?
Gregor Gillespie. Mateusz Gamrot, nonstop wrestler. And Beneil Dariush can be a nonstop wrestler sometimes as well. He was taken down a combined 13 times. This is a very different fight, right? Michael Johnson, while he can get takedowns, that's not going to be his game plan. So now what we have here is Michael Johnson, who's a busy striker, taking on Diego Ferreira, who is a powerful striker with terrible takedowns. So we're going to end up in a striking match. And then do you think Michael Johnson is going to land more strikes, be the more technical striker, have the better footwork? Or do you think Diego's power is going to matter? I like Michael Johnson. I think Michael Johnson's going to get the win here. Last little fun fact here. Diego Ferreira is the older fighter. Michael Johnson has been around forever, has fought everybody, was on like season 5 or 6 of The Ultimate Fighter, something like that. He has been around for an incredibly long time, and he's 2 years younger than Diego Ferreira. So I know a lot of people want to talk about Michael Johnson's old, and not older than Diego. So I like Michael Johnson to get the win. I think he gets it done. What do you think, Jakey boy?
Yeah, I kind of treat Michael Johnson when I'm breaking down fights and when I'm betting fights too is almost like a Johnny Walker. I mean, you just don't know what's going to happen in a Michael Johnson fight. He could come out looking fantastic. He could come out look like he's never fought before. But anytime you have those type of fighters and you get them at plus money, it's probably good value because Johnny Walker literally could beat anybody in the world when he fights. Michael Johnson, when he is fighting at his best, can probably beat almost every single person in the world. So, yeah, I think everyone, I've seen a lot this week of Michael Johnson, lock of the week, Michael Johnson, plus money. He's my lock. He's my underdog play. I get it. I mean, it's probably good value, especially against an older guy in Diego. Diego should welcome this matchup because he's not going to get out-grappled, like Anshel mentioned in the last few fights. But he's had the long layoff. And again, when you had the long layoff against a long striker who does have the volume like Michael Johnson, that just seems like a recipe for disaster. Now, I am going to go on the Diego side. He's going to be my pick because I think that he can be a little bit more methodical and kind of break down this fight methodically, find his timing, and then win kind of the back half of this fight to be able to win this decision. I don't really see a finish in this fight, but, you know, just because I'm making him my pick, I'm not putting money against Diego as a big favorite. I guess not a huge favorite, but as a favorite against Michael Johnson. Michael Johnson's just way too talented. He's talking the talk, and he could come in here and easily walk the walk in this fight against a guy like Diego. So, you know, Diego is my pick, but Michael Johnson, he's a talented dude, and anyone playing him for the underdog side, I get it. You know, I think it's good value.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't put my money where my mouth was. This is such a sketchy card, and I'm a big believer in why take it. We have been making money the last, I don't know how many events in a row that we've just been doing really, really well. I'm not just shooting shots in the dark. Like, when we get back to a very confident card, I'll spend confident money. This is not a confident card. I am not going to spend confident money just for the sake of it. But I do think Michael Johnson is a decent underdog. Plus 145 is not the value you got on him a couple weeks ago when the line actually dropped, but it's still plus 145 is still good underdog money. So if you're on that side and you like chasing your dogs, people are obsessed with underdogs, then he's one of the better ones on this card for sure. He's probably top 3 underdogs on this card, and this card's loaded with underdogs.
It could be the top one. It could be lock of the week. Tune in tomorrow from the lock of the week.
You just picked against them, but sure. Well, therefore, I may spend that $7,500 in DraftKings. I just have to dig a little deeper into his historical scoring because I don't expect any takedowns out of him, and I just want to make sure, is his volume actually there enough to score well, right? Let's say he does win. I'll get the 30 for the win. How many significant strikes versus regular strikes, and what does that look like for me? So I'll take a look at that, but I am leaning, I mean, that's a 7 in front of that number. So I'm leaning that direction.
Too many question marks, probably.
Yeah, the problem is there's only 12 fights. It's 24 fighters. You need 6 in your lineup. That's a quarter.
6.
Anytime we eliminate a fight, that's 2 people gone.
I've won our DraftKings league like 5 weeks in a row, haven't I?
I just beat you.
Did you? Because you didn't.
Well, I beat you last week.
Okay, there you go. Just beat you. Well,
just as a relative term.
When I got home, you know, when he picked me up from the airport, there was a little bit of that going on.
WeWonPicks.com, $10 to become a member. You're going to unlock the picks, the bets, the tools as well. This is so much about the tools and the information available to you and how it empowers you to make your own decisions. WeWonPicks.com, just $10 a month.